How's it going, Starseekers? My name's Gotcake, and in this review we're going to be taking a look at Lost Wing, a procedurally generated endless runner style racer where you speed your way through 3 different worlds, each presenting their own challenging obstacles, as you attempt to defeat each stage's boss and earn as many points as possible. So as we hit the main menu and take a quick dive into the options, we get basic audio, language and vibration settings. Now Lost Wing is never released on mobile, but it wouldn't surprise me if it was originally destined to be one, as the interface we navigate through is similar to ones that you'd find in a mobile game. Instead of sliders or simply pressing directional buttons on the controller, we get large on-screen buttons which we need to press to change settings. Back at the main menu we can then select Start to get into the stage options menu, and here we get a number of different options such as difficulty, world and track selections, and a choice of 3 ships, each with multiple skins to select from. To begin with though, everything is locked behind level requirements, and our current level can be seen at the top of the screen, with the XP requirement to level up displayed below it. So if we want, we can jump into the game's tutorial which shows us the ropes by slowing the game down each time it introduces us to new mechanics. Once we're happy with them, we can then jump into the only unlocked world and stage, the Industrial Campaign. So gameplay in Lost Wing is essentially that of an endless runner game, though there's no restriction to lanes like many endless runners feature. You control a ship which slowly gains speed the longer you survive, and levels in the game are procedurally generated, with obstructions and collectibles littering the track ahead of you, and obstructions come in 2 colours, blue and red. We're able to destroy blue ones, but red ones are indestructible and must be avoided. Taking a look at our UI on either side of the screen. On the right we have our charge meter, which we can increase by holding the ZR to accelerate and travel at higher speeds, or by collecting the single or clusters of white orbs we find on the track. Collecting white orbs in quick succession builds a combo meter, and after it expires it awards a number of bonus points based on how high we built the meter. Now charges essentially act as ammunition, and we're able to shoot and destroy blue coloured obstructions on the track, which usually requires 1 or 2 shots. We can also hold ZL to activate a slow motion ability to help us steer through tricky areas with more precision, but this also drains charges while it's active. Below our charge meter is where our smart bomb count is displayed, and smart bombs, like white orbs, are found at random as we race, and activating one sends out a wave of energy for a few seconds which destroys blue obstructions. So looking now to the left, we have our score which slowly increases the longer we survive, and we can earn bonus points for destroying objects, collecting pickups and reaching specific distance milestones. Below our score is where our lives are displayed, which we begin with 3 of, and colliding with an obstacle will cost us 1 life. Following a death, our speed will be reset, and in a move which I personally thought was a bit shitty, we also lose any smart bombs we had and our charges will be reset back to 20. So controls in the game are pretty responsive, and I didn't really find any issues with them. As we speed through the track, blasting blue obstacles, dodging and swerving our way past red ones and jumping over these big red barriers with the B button, we find a number of pickups in addition to the previously mentioned orbs and smart bombs. We have this box pickup which activates a drone to fly alongside us, these up and down pickups which increase or decrease our ship size for a short time, and the worst pickup of all is the flipper, which flips our screen and controls for a few seconds and can be deadly if accidentally collected at the wrong time. Now clipping an obstacle with the left or right side of our ship will remove its wing on that side, which drastically slows down our movement in that direction. After surviving for a short time we'll find wing pickups which will restore any lost wings and our manoeuvrability. So each stage in the game is split into 3 sections with checkpoints in between them. Each new section increases the game's difficulty by introducing new obstructions on the track, the majority of which are indestructible red ones. In total there are 3 unlockable worlds or levels in the game, each with their own unique set of obstacles. The industrial stage is the easiest, followed by the forest stage, with the canyon stage being the most difficult. We can also unlock additional difficulty levels which both increases the frequency and the point at which obstacles appear, as well as awarding us a percentage of bonus XP. For the most part I found obstacles to be well distributed and could be avoided with precise manoeuvres, though I did collide with one obstacle on the canyon map which was literally invisible. So now I want to highlight what in my opinion is the worst mechanic in Lost Wing, and one that I feel is extremely detrimental to the enjoyment of the game. Now bear in mind this occurs whenever you earn about 200,000 points without dying. So it begins with a warning klaxon and a notice which reads, "Warning, spatial anomaly detected." Then after about 5 seconds, this happens. Now this rotating of the screen is not only very difficult to play through as it slowly reverses your controls, it's also extremely disorientating and actually pretty nauseating. So far I've managed to survive about 3 of these events, but 90% of the time you'll end up losing a life to them. I have no idea why the developers thought this mechanic was a good idea, because it just wasn't. It's annoying as hell and makes me want to vomit my Doritos and Monster all over my Pro controller. So once we reach the end of the 3rd section, we then face off against the section's boss. Now each boss in the game has its own unique mechanics, and boss encounters are phased and their attacks change after the life is reduced by a certain amount. Now I did encounter a bug on the forest boss where one of the enemies he sends out literally followed me across the screen as I jumped over it, which caused me to die when I landed, ending my run. But other than that, I found these battles to be quite enjoyable. After defeating a stage boss, you then get to continue on, and you work your way back through the 3 sections to another encounter with the same boss. This continues until you eventually lose all your lives, at which point your score is displayed on screen, and each level and mode has its own online leaderboards, where you can compete against other players for the high score. Though I did have issues with the game not connecting to the leaderboards after my Switch had been in sleep mode for a while. Now your score also acts as XP, with 1 point equating to 1 XP. Each time you level up, you unlock new skins, ships, worlds and stages, but every level up costs more XP. And this is my second main issue with Lost Wing, as this system means the game becomes a huge grind as you play the same world and stage over and over. Just getting to level 8 to unlock the 3rd level took several hours, and I still had another 5 levels to go just to unlock the challenge modes for the industrial level. Needless to say, I wasn't going to spend the hours required to do this, but from looking at the descriptions and thumbnails, gameplay remained the same with some slight rule adjustments. Blast mode requires you to score as many points as possible in 1 lap, turbo mode features a ton of booster pads, and precision mode requires you to travel through each gate as you race through the stage. Now I also didn't unlock the 2 other ships in the game, so I'm not sure what impact they actually have on gameplay. So in all, Lost Wing is not a bad game. Though its gameplay loop is repetitive, it's still actually pretty addictive. I thought the graphics were alright with some decent variation in each level's design, though they were a little dark at times, and I occasionally encountered a frame rate bug when collecting the wing pickups. When it comes to the game's music, I have to say I wasn't that impressed. Now I love electronica and synth music, but to me most of the tracks featured in this game just sounded like a synth version of improvised jazz. Despite the ability to change tracks whilst playing using the L&R buttons, I didn't really find any of them particularly catching or easy to listen to for long periods of time. So now we come to rating the game. Now I rate games between 1 and 5 stars, with a shovelware stamp of approval reserved for the worst games on the eShop. This rating is based on my own personal opinion on what a game has to offer in terms of gameplay and value for money to potential buyers. And for a rating I'd give Lost Wing 2 out of 5 stars. The game is fun and addictive for the most part, but I really think the developers dropped the ball with the anomaly mechanic, and the unlock system is way too grind heavy, and I think players will likely become bored of the game long before they even have a chance to play all of its modes, which is a bit of a shame really. Lost Wing releases on the 31st of July 2020, and you can get it from the UK Switch eShop currently with 10% off for £7.19p, or from the US eShop for $7.19. Alternatively, the game's also available on Steam, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Hey Starseekers, hope you enjoyed this review of Lost Wing, and if you did, hit that like button and let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. As always, subscribe for future Switch indie game reviews, and drop into the Starseekers Discord server to join its growing community. For now though, I just want to say thanks once again for watching, and until next time, game on.